Hey everyone, welcome to Empower Team Monday Night Team Training. I am Natalie Gregory and I am a Sapphire brand ambassador, and I'm so excited to share with you guys tonight on how to lead with vision. Leadership is one of my favorite topics. When I started this business 7 years ago, in my mid-20s, I didn't see myself as a leader necessarily. I didn't understand what leadership was. I didn't know what having a vision was. And over the years, being able to develop in my leadership, being able to develop vision and the ability to cast vision has been one of the most fulfilling aspects of doing this business. It is an honor and a privilege to be able to lead people. It's a privilege to be able to cast vision, to help people develop their vision. And so I want to dig into that tonight with you guys. I think having a leadership mindset in this business and knowing out the gate that you are a leader here, no matter who you are, if you just joined, if you've been doing this for years, you're a leader and you need to approach everything with that mindset and with that goal in mind, that you are to show up as a leader. If you have one customer, you're a leader. Even if you don't have customers, do you have kids? You're a leader. Do you have family? You're leading them somehow. If you have a social media, you're influencing people. Because leadership is influence. Okay. Leadership is influence, right? That's what John Maxwell says. Nothing more, nothing less. But what is influence? Okay, influence is the capacity to have an effect on the character, development, or behavior of someone or something. Okay, and so I believe the best way to influence people is by loving them. I will back it up to say that a lot of my strengths are influencing strengths. Okay. And so when I reflect on how I influence, these are the things that I come up with. It is loving people. Okay. And you don't have to have influencing strengths to influence people, because anybody can love people. Okay. So influence people by loving them. Deeply listen to people. When people are talking to you, be fully present. Put your phone away. Look them directly in the eye. Listen intently. Focus in. Don't be distracted. Don't be multitasking. Don't be doing, don't be cleaning. Like, stop and give people the gift of your presence. Actually know them. Listen to the little things that they say often so that you can remember it and go back to it. Hey, I noticed that you've been saying you're worried a lot. Tell me more about your worry. You keep on using that word. Or, hey, I noticed that, maybe you stopped saying this. Finish what you were saying. If you listen to people enough and you love them well enough to listen to them, you're going to be able to love on them and ultimately have influence with them. People, when you listen to them, I think it's one of the biggest aspects of leadership. So give them the gift of your presence, being interested in actually knowing who they are. When influencing people, look for the best in them and be brave enough to call out their strengths. I always say it's vulnerable to stop and articulate what you see in someone. I think there's an aspect of, like, when you do that, they can kind of reject you in a way if they don't receive you well. You're putting yourself out there to call out their strengths, and it requires some bravery to do that, to vulnerably articulate that. So empower, when you call out people's strengths. First of all, they probably don't have many people in their life who are intentional to say, hey, you know what? I notice how much you're growing in the area of leadership. You know what? I notice that your character is so full of integrity. Most people do not have other people in their life taking the time to call out their strengths. And just by doing that, you influence people and you empower their vision for themselves and their ability to see themselves going further in life. Secondly, to grow your influence, you yourself need to be vulnerable with people. You have to let people in. You can't have one-sided relationships. When you're leading people, it won't be exactly the same as like a peer-to-peer friendship. But when I am coaching my people, I let them know, hey, just so you know, I struggle with that same exact thing now. And you're at this level and you are dreaming of being at my level. And we're really not all that different because I'm struggling with the same exact thing that you're struggling with. That empowers people. It's vulnerable as a leader not to act like you have it all together. But it's 10 times more empowering knowing that people are that I still struggle with fear of rejection. I still struggle with that. And I guarantee if you just join this team, you probably struggle with that too. Maybe not everybody does, but just knowing that I still do too at the level that I'm at, isn't that empowering? It takes vulnerability though. So you always keep it real with your people, right? When people feel like you understand them, you get where they've been, you get where they want to go, they will follow you. Okay. So how do you lead with vision? We all have dreams in us. A lot of us just have our dreams buried under the stress and busyness of life. A lot of us have given up on our dreams. A lot of people have given up on their dreams. But when we have the courage to dream out loud and build our vision, bring people in, have the courage to share it, we then give other people permission to dream too. Well, if Natalie gets to dream, then why don't I get to dream? I can dream too. Okay. But you have to be vulnerable and brave enough to speak it out loud, to bring other people into it, to talk about it on social media, to talk about it in your stories, to say, hey, this is where I'm going, sharing that with people, because when you know where you're going, people will follow you. People will not follow the person who does not know where they're going. Okay. So real quick, here's a quick little breakdown. Okay. Step 1, start dreaming yourself. Ask yourself, what if I went all in with this? And what if I could turn this into a 6-figure business? What if I could get to stay home with my kids? What if I could have less stress? What if I could feel more free and not have to dread going to work on Mondays? What if I could use this, become my healthiest self, feel better than I've ever felt, and help a ton of other people feel better than they've ever felt? What if I could do that? Other people are doing it. Natalie, she's over here talking about how normal she is, how busy her life is too. Sounds like my life. Why couldn't I do that too? That's what people will see when you start asking yourself these questions and sharing about it. Step 2 is build your personal vision with clarity. So you take those dreams and you the what ifs, and you start letting yourself go there, and you start building your vision. You write it out with clarity. You say, okay, this is what I want for my life. I want to be in control of my time. I want to provide opportunities for my kids. I want my kids to go to this specific school. I want to save up for my future. I want to go take my family on multiple vacations a year. I want to, get specific and write it out and continually familiarize yourself with it. Like always looking at your vision, always keeping your vision in front of you, creating a vision board, becoming obsessed with your vision, buying your stage dress. I bought my emerald dress a year before I ever went emerald. I had this emerald green dress and I bought it and I tried it on and I took pictures in it and I envisioned myself wearing it on stage. Kristen has hers. You know who's going to be an emerald? Kristen. That's how you know. That's how you know. But you guys do that. Like, have enough faith and bravery in yourself to go out and buy the dress that you see yourself on stage in. Get it. Just go for it. Okay, that's the kind of leader that people will follow. Somebody who will just go and have that bravery to buy the dress, to make the vision board. Okay, step 3, love your people enough to listen and ask what their dreams are too. This, I wrote this down and then I got convicted and I was like, whoa. I'll be honest. Can I sit here? It's been a while since I've familiarized myself with my team's vision. So after this, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to text all of my people, all of the people on my team who are working this business, and I'm going to ask them, hey, like this week, can you let me know what your vision for your life is? Because you have to know what your people's vision is to be able to empower them in their vision and know how to encourage them in that. So everybody after this, if you don't know everybody on your team's vision, it's your responsibility as the leader to initiate with them and go get the vision. Okay. So that's what I want you all to do after this. That's your homework. Step 4, constantly remind them of your vision, their strengths, and your belief in them to achieve their dreams. I'm going to say that again. Constantly remind your team of your vision, the team's vision. Then you need to remind them of their vision, why you believe they can achieve it because of their strengths, and so that they can continue to dream. I will say that if you are on this team, you are on the right team, because this team is going places. This team has the systems in place. We have the grit in place. We have the culture in place. We have the clarity in place. We're not stopping. We're not going anywhere. Now is the time in our economy after an economic downturn. Now is the time where our businesses are going to be exploding. So now is not the time to take your foot off the gas. Now is the time to double down so that you can make double the impact, double the income, and double down on your freedom. That's why you're on this team. And that's why you get to bring people into this team. This is the team. It's not another team. You know, so many other teams do not have what we have here. And we have committed leaders. We're not going anywhere. We're going to figure it out. We're meeting every single week. We're innovating. We're collaborating. We're figuring out what the team needs so that we can take us higher. And I can tell you this right now, on this team, we're going all the way up together. And so you can come with us and figure it out along the way and grow, or you can give up. But as long as you don't give up, you can come with us. Okay. So John Maxwell says, most people will do anything to live up to your faith in them. John Maxwell also says, always remember that your goal, it is not to get people to think more highly of you. It's to get them to think highly of themselves. Have faith in them, and they will do exactly that. You don't have to have all the answers. You just have to be there for people, listen to them, support them, and believe in them. I can't reiterate this enough. With my people, I don't have all the answers for them all the time. I fail as a leader all the time. I'm very imperfect, but something I do is I always call out their strengths and empower them, why they can be successful and where I see them going. Say to your people, like, I see you leading a team call in this. Your energy is so contagious. You're going to be able to bring so many people with you. You're going to have such a big impact. I see you on stage one day. I see you, creating more graphics for our team. I see you being able to share that specific knowledge with the team. I see your leadership capability. Maybe you don't see it, but I see it in you. That will strengthen your team beyond what you can ever imagine, more than any system, more than anything that you can do for them. That's the most important thing that you can do for people. Okay. So what does a vision-driven leader look like? Here are my final three points about what a vision-driven leader looks like. Okay. Number one, leaders are initiators. It is your job to reach out to your people, to set up your appointment, set up your calls, and make it happen. It's your job. Even if you aren't naturally an initiator, that's okay. You get to choose. You get to choose your identity. You get to be an initiator now. You get to take ownership for your own goals, your numbers, your retention, your growth, your systems, your events. This is not just your business. This is your life. You take initiative. And the people who take like a grasp of that are the people who are going to run. So you have to build yourself up. That's going to be the most powerful thing. If you have an upline that builds you up and does all of that, then consider yourself to be the cherry on top. Be very thankful for that. And if not, you don't need it. You get to take ownership over your business and your life. Okay. Number two, leaders are not avoiders. I have to tell myself this because I can be conflict avoidant. I want peace, and I want to have fun. I want to have a good time. I want to keep things positive. And so I have to force myself outside of my comfort zone still to have hard conversations when needed. Sometimes you have to say, hey, like I'm sensing some tension, or, hey, the story that I'm telling myself is that you're upset with me right now, or that you're avoiding me. Is anything going on? It again takes bravery to do this, but you can't avoid it. You have to be willing to get in people's business when they give you excuses, or when you're, maybe that's with a business builder and they're not showing up, whatever. Like, you have to be willing to get into their business. You can't avoid it to keep the peace. Like, you have to go there. When people give you objections, yeah, it's too expensive. Okay, what does that mean? Does that mean it's too expensive compared to other products? Does it mean you literally don't have the money? What does that mean? How is it expensive? You have to be willing to get into people's business. Like, yeah, I just don't have the money. Okay, well, it would be easier to play small and just say, okay, bye, no problem. Let me know if anything changes. Or you can say, well, hey, like, let's look at it this way. What if, do you ever go out to eat with your family? What if you cut out one time a month going out, and then you could feel better than you've ever felt? Would that be doable for you? That's not gonna come natural. You're gonna have to practice that, right? You can't avoid getting in people's business, and people will end up thanking you for it. It's gonna feel uncomfortable at first. You'll get used to it, and people will respect you for it. They will say, this person helped me think outside of the box, solve my problems, stop thinking small. And now I found a way. Now I feel good about it. Because there's always a way if you're willing to not play small and avoid it, right? If you see somebody, again, back to not avoiding, if you see one of your people doing something that could be hurting their business, are you going to just like, hopefully they don't do that again, or maybe it's not that big of a deal? Stop playing small and say something. Because if you don't say something, they're going to keep on making the mistake. It's like letting someone have broccoli in their teeth. You're going to just sit there and you're going to let them have food in their teeth? No, that is not what we do, because it's going to make you feel uncomfortable. Stop thinking about yourself and help out your people. It might be uncomfortable. There might be resistance, but help your people out. Okay. And last thing, leaders have boundaries. These boundaries are rooted in self-respect. That people will follow you when you're a leader who has boundaries. Leaders who have boundaries set business hours. They honor their time. They show people they respect their time, and then other people will respect their time in turn. They don't say yes to everything all the time. They demonstrate this self-respect and show others how to respect their time, and ultimately set this example to prevent burnout within their own team. You're leading by example, and you're able to show other people how to do that. And so when people see that you respect yourself and that you have boundaries, it empowers them to do the same, and your people will respect you and follow you even harder. Sometimes we think, oh, if I say yes and I do all the things and I, whatever, and I just keep working, I keep on doing this, then everybody will be happy with me. No, people will take advantage of you. Maybe inadvertently, like maybe without even realizing, right? But have boundaries and self-respect, and you'll be able to lean into your own vision, and you'll be able to pour out, not from an empty cup. You'll be able to fill yourself up and keep going for the long haul. So, well, it's 8:59, so I will wrap it up for our next call. But thank you guys so much for joining us. We'll see you on Wednesday for our event. Y'all have a great night.